What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Moms Off the Clock podcast. I'm your host and fellow mama friend, Deirdre Brannick. This podcast is dedicated to the moms who need a break to just talk, laugh, feel encouraged, and to examine what we are collectively facing as mothers. Society standards and exhaustion. You are not alone. It is a pleasure to have you all join me in this conversation about motherhood. Welcome to the new moms and welcome back to the OG moms who have been rocking with me since episode 1. So excited that you guys are here today. I got a special episode for you all. And let's get started because let's be honest, mom breaks are not that long. So once again, if you all are watching me, you all see that we're on YouTube now. So hello, hi. I kind of fixed my setup because last time my husband and I, we were like looking at the video, critiquing it like, hey, I should probably move this. I should look at the camera more, all these things. But I'm trying to get adjusted to this new concept of the video again, because now I'm recording on my webcam instead of like my actual Canon. So it's different, but we're going to make it work and we're going to have a good time. Okay, before we get into this episode and topic, I first want to tell you all to please connect with me on my social media. My Instagram is THEMOTCCLUB, and then the Facebook is Moms Off the Clock. Okay, it's a group there. Connect with us. If you don't have an Instagram, go to Facebook and connect with us. Okay, and if there are any topics you'd like me to talk about, or if you like me to give feedback, support, or you want to donate, please let me know. And I would love to connect with you all. And my email will be in the show notes of this episode and in the description of this YouTube video. Okay. One announcement that I really want to talk about is our website is launching on my birthday next Tuesday. So I'm super excited. And then that same day, we're doing a giving day. So I'm going to post my Venmo, my Cash App, and then there's going to be a donor box on the website that day. We're going to have like a mass giving day. And that money, instead of you all giving it to me for my birthday, it's going to be pushed towards our business to expand Moms Off the Clock. So we can have merch, so we can have classes, and we can have events that we want to put on for. And you guys are just going to be a blessing to that. And 10% of that is actually going to go to a charity, actually a women's shelter here in Florida, a local women's shelter. So 10% is going to that. So you'll be a part of that donation and that giving as well. So I hope you all join in because it's going to be such a blessing. And then you're blessing Moms Off the Clock so we can grow, right? And then we can get some business things happening and just so much I want to tell you. So if you're not tuned in and locked into our email list, please get on that too. In the show notes, you can download the 5 ways to set boundaries as a mother, and then it'll lock your email in. So you get a little ebook and you'll be able to get locked into our emails. So check that out. Everything will be in the show notes below. So please check that out of this episode. Okay. Please remember to also write a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Go ahead and like it, show some love so we can get people to knowing who we are and see those ratings. So be awesome. If you write a nice little cute one, I will read it on this announcement portion. So please do that so I can read some reviews. I'd love to hear feedback. Okay. Let's get into it though. Okay. Today's episode is episode 36. And this is going to be a little reflection. I'm going to be turning 28 this year. So this is a reflection of year 28 to come and kind of reflecting on year 27. And this episode, I'm going to be talking about things I'm glad I did and wish I would have, closer to the end. I think this would be a cute little way to end it of just reflecting on everything that's happened. So if you're listening, you know what to do. Clock out and grab your wine, juice, water for the fitness moms, or coffee for the go-to moms. And let's talk motherhood, okay? So you all know before we get to chatting, we do our affirmation of the week. And today's affirmation is I'm making the next years of my life. I'm a little congested. I'm sorry, y'all. It's the cooties. It's the Tyler cooties. I'm making the next years of my life my best years. So I'm making the next years of my life my best years. So let's get into it. This past year, I felt like I was not as consistent as I wanted to be. I was so unhinged and flustered at times. But the best choice that has been for me has been to take time and take back control over my life. So I want to stop there, and I want to say actually surrendering my life to God, letting him take control over my life has been one of the best decisions of my life. So you all know in the earlier episode, I'm not sure which episode it was, but I'll figure it out and I'll link that episode where I was talking about the beginning of this year was supposed to be like this amazing and the most exciting year and the start of the year that I was ever going to have, because I finished my master's. So the reason I was so flustered last year was because I was finishing my master's. I was trying to find this balance between home life, work life, and being a good mom and being a good wife. And I was losing it, y'all. I was so stressed out, right? And so the beginning of the year, I got this job opportunity and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to feel like I'm finding my individuality again. It's going to be great. That the first of the year, our church did a fast, and my husband and I were like, we're just going to surrender everything to God, and I'm believing God to do great things. And you have this amazing feeling that God's going to do great things when it's going your way. So I was like, oh yeah, I got this job. So yeah, anything I want to do in my life, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I didn't get the job that first week of the year. And they were like, hey, yeah, you won't be able to start with us. And I was just like, okay, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I questioned God so much. I was so hurt, so full of shame, right? And the enemy will come in and sometimes leave you so full of shame about things that didn't work out that you don't even want to tell anybody about what's happening. And that was how I was. I didn't want to tell anyone what happened. I wanted to just kind of like crawl up under a rock and just not do it. And then I remember I just asked God, I was like, hey, just show me what you have for me, just show me what you have for me. And that same week, I got an email saying that I've been chosen to go to the Pod Fest in Orlando, Florida. And it was so awesome because I'm like, okay, what are you trying to show me about this podcast or this Pod Fest? You're trying to teach me, or what's going on? So I'm like, okay, literally one door closed that week. And then the following day, honestly, the following day I get like an email saying you've been chosen to go to the Pod Fest. And so I'm like, okay. So I go to the Pod Fest. So much information that I got. So much information. So I'm like, okay, maybe God is steering me in the direction to focus on my podcast. And my husband was so supportive because he was actually the one that was like, hey, maybe this is the time that you hone in on your podcast. And I was like, okay. I took some things before God and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give everything to you. Like literally, I was like, I'm giving everything to you because I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember the following, like 2 weeks after, I remember I was driving and I remember surrendering, this podcast business. And I said, God, if you can give me a website, because I want to be professional in all realms of this, of Moms Off the Clock. And Brittany Price from Pretty Digital, she hit me up and she said, hey, I just want to tell you, I love what you're doing. And in that moment, God was like, ask her to design your website. As I'm getting ready to ask her to design my website, she already like volunteers to do it. And I mean, like, so strategically, God is so strategic. That's all I'm going to say. Like, he's so strategic that he aligns with your vision and shows you what he can really do for you, right? When you believe in him and when you surrender it to him, he really blows your mind. And she then proceeds to say, like, hey, I wouldn't mind being a part of this. Because I asked her, I was like, honestly, you're doing so good with this. Do you want to be a part of that? I've been looking for someone who can run a website. And she's like, yeah, if that's an invite, then yes. And so just blowing my mind. And then I remember setting up that portion. Some of you all who follow me on Instagram, you all know that I do the reels, me to you, mom to my moments. My husband and I, we got that chair that I sit in because we had a little code or something from the Amex about Wayfair, and I was like, oh, I had been trying to decorate my foyer, so I might as well go ahead and get something for that foyer, a chair that matches, my logo and what I'm going for and the I guess the vibe of it, right? And I remember just saying, like, I'm going to get this little mic, I'm going to get the chair, and I'm going to set it up and I'm going to do this, right? I just want you all to know, when you all really trust in God, me specifically, when I trust in Jesus and I've given him everything, he's like blowing my mind about things because my platform is growing tremendously. Like, I'm almost to 5,000 followers on my Instagram. I've grown from those little videos like 2,000 followers, probably over 2,000, to be honest with you. I want to go ahead and say three, because I started at like 2,000, like 2,227. Right now I'm at like 4,800. So blowing my mind about what he can do. And I don't know where he's going or what's going to happen for me in year 28. But all I'm going to tell you all is, you're witnessing history go down right now in the making, right? Like, this is me trusting God, me full on trusting God, going all in on him. And I can't even tell you how things begin to align for me. I mean, just people coming up to me, and I'm doing interviews on other podcasts. I'm connecting with other podcasters, people that I'm brushing shoulders with. I never thought I'd brush shoulders with. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And I'm just saying those things with faith and so much ambition that God will do some amazing things for me. Even getting back on YouTube, this is like a part of the history in the making, and reaching more people than I want to, or even, I wouldn't even say that I want to, more people than I thought I would, right? And so I'm just so grateful, but I, I'm just trying to wrap my head around all that's happening, right? It's like, I'm so grateful, but I'm still like, wow, is this really happening to me? And the truth is, it is happening to me. And it's happening to me because I feel like I am an example of what happens when you just trust God and you trust and put your all in Jesus Christ. Like, I really do feel that way. Like, I really do feel that way, that when I'm up here being as transparent as I can to you all, it's not me bragging. It's not me saying like, look at me, look at me. It's me saying, you do the same thing and just watch God transform your life. Like, I give my tithes every time I get a piece of change. Like, I'm not lying to y'all. 10% is like being transferred into my church's account. Like, I don't care what you all think about tithes or whatever, but I'm telling you what has come about from me being such a good steward of what God has given me, because I could lose this all in one moment. This is not mine. This time is not mine. This life is not mine. My family is not mine. This platform is not mine. I love it that I think it's like my baby, but God has just been giving me the voice to go forward in this thing, So I'm excited for what 28 has. I'm excited to be rocking with you all and giving you all the messages that God has given me to give you, right? Like, I feel like he's transforming me internally so that I can like literally give you all this education, wisdom, and just transformative language and love because of what's in me. Like, it's it's crazy. It's like the Holy Spirit just tells you how to move and maneuver. And I'm just grateful to God for these things. I'm grateful to God to see 28. I pray that I'm able to get to Tuesday and celebrate year 28, because man, we worked hard to get here, and I'm so grateful to God for these things. So I also have my glad I did, wish I would have. If you heard me pick up a piece of paper, I was picking up a piece of paper. You could probably see it on this here YouTube. Okay. So a few things, and this is kind of cool. I think you all should do it too. You should do like a glad I did and a I wish I would have, right? And I only did like 3 of each. So I'm not too hard on myself, right? And I want to say one thing I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did not give up. I'm so glad that I knew there is still something within me. I know that this is just a season for me. And I knew that if I just kept pushing and pressing forward, and just as long as I would just keep showing up, something would happen to me. Something would break for me, right? I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad I also did not lose hope about my platform or podcast, because it's easy to just see like, oh, I didn't do that well on this episode. I didn't do that well on that episode. What should I do? All those things. And it's easy to compare yourself, and then that comparison steal your joy, or it steals, like your accolades or how far you've come. And I'm just glad I didn't let that steer me in a direction to just give it up. I see a lot of podcasts up here that, you know, have great titles, and you're just like, wow, you know, I wanted to use that title for my podcast. And you just look, and it's like a ghost town on their podcast because they just stop posting. And it's just, it's not an instant gratification thing. You know, you have to keep pouring into that thing and watering the grass of your business, whatever that is for you, your business, your podcast, your YouTube, you know, your platform in general, your book that you're writing, whatever it is, your children, your family, your marriage. Keep watering that thing so it grows. Don't give up on it. One man, he told me, when I went to the Pod Fest, right, in Orlando, which I really feel like I was there for a reason. He said, I've been in the game because he has like over 100,000 downloads. And he said, I've been in the game for 7 years plus, you know? So some of these people who are not seeing that instant gratification for their podcast and they're giving up so easily, he's like, I've been in the game for 7 years. And I'm just like, man, I'm only even in the game for one. And I'm already like, man, I wish just, but no, it's just consistency. Consistency will get you there. Consistency has helped me grow my Instagram platform. Consistency has helped me, you know, just see a transformation in my mind. And, you know, hopefully consistency helps me see a transformation in my body with this post mom bod. Check out the mom bod episode. It's an earlier episodes, you know, where we kind of talk about that. So shameless plug. So yeah, I'm glad I did not give up, and I'm glad I didn't lose hope in my platform or my podcast. I'm also glad I did not stop trusting God. I'm so glad I did not stop trusting God, because he was the firm foundation that I needed. He was the one I needed to lean on and just say, hey, if you could do this for someone else, you can surely do it for me, you know? And I'm just glad I didn't give up on that relationship. And I'm glad that I did talk to God and was like, hey, I'm angry. You know, I'm very upset. I don't know what to do. Please show me. And when you say things like that to God, you know, he's a God of relationship. I tell people that all the time. He wants to know how you feel. He wants to know how you feel. And when you just come to him and say, hey, I didn't like how this went. It triggered me. Please help me understand why it triggered me. Please help me grow from this. And God will literally show you things and place people in your life, even through therapy. Hello, knocking at your door. Therapy helps you as well. And he created people. So he created people with wisdom and education to help you figure things out through therapy. So therapy is not bad, okay? But God will truly show you and give you answers that you need when you come to him and tell him how you truly feel. Or if you're like, I really need help with this, please help me. I can't do it by myself. He listens to that. That surrender is all he needs. So I'm glad about that. So a few things I wish I would have. All right. I wish I would have learned to trust God early on instead of wasting a lot of my time panicking and sulking. A lot of that time I spent just like in a frantic, like just talking to my husband, like, oh my God, you know, just like very much so not trusting God, very much so scared. But I will tell you this. I'm glad that I embraced all those feelings because that validated how I felt, right? And I'm glad I had people around me to validate how I feel without just saying, hey, D, get over it. You know, I'm glad I took that time, because if I didn't take that time, I would probably be feeling it right now still. But I needed to feel those things and I need to heal from those things. I will also say, I also said that I wish I would have shown myself more grace. When I say graced, I wish I would have shown myself more grace that I needed instead of beating myself up. And I will say that I really do wish I would have shown myself more grace that I tell people to show themselves, right? So when all this was happening, I was just like, man, like, how did you not know? Why didn't you ask these questions? What did I do wrong? And then it started turning towards anger towards other people. Why didn't they tell me? Why they waste my time? You know, and it was just a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, you know, and I just wish I would have just said, hey, it's okay, D, like, take it easy on yourself, breathe, take a few minutes to walk around, you know, don't try to rush into anything else, just breathe. And I'm grateful to God that I learned how to show myself grace, but I wish I would have shown myself grace in the beginning. But this is a great reminder that when we go through tests and trials and obstacles and hurdles in life, we know how to just say, okay, it's okay. You went through something harder before. You'll get through this, right? So take it easy on yourself. The other thing that I wish I would have told my story more instead of just been in this feeling of shame. I shamed myself so bad, y'all. Like I didn't even tell people that I didn't get the job. I just had people thinking like I just been working, and I still am doing that, to be very honest with you. Unless someone asks me like, "Hey, how's your job going?" Then I'm like, I didn't get it, you know. And I didn't. And I want to be clear, and this is what I had to be clear about for myself too. It wasn't that I wasn't qualified for the position. It was just that I needed a certification that would have taken me July to get, and we are moving very soon, right? So it wasn't that I had to tell myself that. It wasn't that you're underqualified. It just wasn't your time. That's a message. That's a message. It's not that you are underqualified. It's just that it's not your time yet. Because I'm going to get this job again when we move, and I'll be able to maneuver and just ease my way on into that position, right? So it's not that you're underqualified. Don't get down on yourself about anything. It's just that it's not your time yet. And that's okay. That's okay. You're 28. That's okay. I think I'm gonna be okay with being a student and understanding that everything will not work out at the time that I want it to, but that does not mean that I'm underqualified or that I'm not worthy or that I'm not valued or that I'm not enough. I am enough. I'm still qualified. I'm just waiting on my time and the opportunity to come knocking at my door. And when it does, I'm swinging that door wide open, okay, to receive all the blessings that I deserve. And you should too, okay? Yeah, I love talking to y'all. I get so excited. As you get ready to clock back in, mama, know that you are doing your best. It's not about being perfect, it's about being progressive. Until next time, mamas, see you soon. And let me go check on my baby. Bye.